It's a long story. I was trying to make it a bit shorter because there's a lot.
Leading towards you, 20, Jennifer is closing you. Thank you for your company. Bye. Oh yeah, I know where we'll start. I mean, afterwards you can just cut. Because there's, I don't know, I'm sure the story will last more than 12 minutes. So we can just cut it. So you want me to tell the story now? Alright. So I'm just going to tell you the story. So a few years ago, my parents actually ended up buying property in Buswa. And they had a hardware store, and they threatened for years that no, they were actually going to sell the hardware store and build a hotel in Buswa. So this was a yearly threat, and I was in architecture school, and finally one year they said, no, we actually have a buyer, we're selling the store, we're moving to Ghana in the next 3 months. So we need like drawings for our hotel. So I said, fine. I started doing the drawings. And at the same time too, by chance, one of my professors called me in to his office. And it's a very special professor. He's pretty cool, has a really amazing library. And I don't know what I did wrong. So I'm like, I don't know why I'm being called to his office. And he said, no, you know, I heard that you're designing a hotel in Africa. I'm like, yeah. So he actually decided to give me this book from his library. It's a book from the 70s, and even there, it's all about natural ventilation. There's different examples of buildings that are actually here in Ghana. And so it actually helped the whole process of me actually starting to design and build things in Ghana. And so I designed the hotel. It's now like, well, 3-story, my parents kind of designed kind of hotel, but it's all naturally ventilated. And that was the key, is that I wanted to be able to do it something like that. So that actually led me to actually coming to Ghana. Because my parents built the hotel in 2001. I finished my thesis in 2002. And because I actually came for the first month of construction in Ghana, I was a week late for my thesis. But I was in Ghana, and so I decided to do my thesis on and design a low-cost, hands-on construction trade school in Ghana, where they had no money to actually build the school. They could only use natural materials. So the school was built with earth, with bamboo, with timber, Um, and I'd already done papers on compressed earth blocks and composting toilets, so it was all falling in line with exactly a lot of things I was really interested in. So I could continue to research things that I thought was cool. And then 2 years later, oh no, the year after I finished my thesis, I decided to move to Ghana with my ex-girlfriend, and then was running my parents' hotel with my parents. And it's quite stressful to live and work together as four people. And we had two friends who also were building a lodge at the time, and we all decided that we had to get away from everybody. And we'd heard about this beach that was like really beautiful. So we decided, no, we're gonna take a tent, we're gonna take a fish, we're gonna just grill and tent and get away and get to this beach. So we actually made our way to Cape Three Points. And we had a wonderful night. It was really amazing experience. And afterwards I said, no, there's something about this place. I need to come. I want to build my house here. So I came and saw the chief and said, oh, I need land. And my father had said, you love the place because it's natural. But if you come and you just buy like one small plot, what happens if you get bad neighbors and they come and cut down everything else around you? So you should buy as much as you can. So I bought from the neighbor over there to the neighbor over there, and then I couldn't just build a house anymore. But so I'd had the land some few years, and like 6 years later, it was time to actually start to do something. And then, well, what am I going to do? And in those 6 years, I was actually managing my parents' hotel, and I realized that tourism was doing some really good things in the area, helping create jobs and alternative income. So I said, no, I'm going to build something, but it won't be a hotel. But as it's somewhere where there's nowhere else for people to stay, people can stay. And it will help to develop the area. So it was actually an opportunity for me to actually start to progress and actually to really test out all the different theories that I'd actually studied. And I'd already dabbled a little bit. I'd built a house in Buswa, but this was to really full on get right into it. And so I just started building the lodge, and step by step, experimenting with bamboo, experimenting with earth, and a lot of times different materials, like saying raffia, nobody could tell you exactly how long it's gonna last. So I'm like, well, whatever, I'll build it. I'll make sure that the structure behind it is like a solid hardwood. If we have to change it over time, fine, we can, but at least you have to be able to try it and see what happens. And I started with. I had one person who helped me out to start off because I had no money, and step by step the lodge just built itself. And, we started with 2 people on the team, and we just get a little money and keep building and make sure that everyone got paid. And then now after 8 years, the lodge it continues to grow, but at the same time too, it's actually started to reach a whole different level where we're starting to be able to have more time to experiment and actually rebuild different things. And I've also realized that I want to be able to take things to a whole new level where we actually start to take on a level of education and actually share the knowledge. Because as we built the lodge, in the team, we have different people who are different tradesmen. We have a carpenter, we have a mason, and everything has been a mix of both local knowledge and also of course architectural background, but also I grew up in my father's workshop, so everybody takes their ideas and we put it together to actually build the place. So um, it's been constantly like sharing of knowledge, and we've had different like people who come and stay at the lodge, and of course they come because it's different, and they also share and bring different knowledge of different places where people are doing similar things, so that we can also learn more and do things a little bit differently. And now we'd like to really take things to the next level of being able to like make more of a school, so that there can be a sharing of knowledge with the youth and with local people, so that people can actually benefit from how we're building. Because I mean, I think that a lot of the different ways we build, like even building with earth. I mean, my own mother, when they went to go build their hotel, she looked at me and said, well, I'm like, Mom, can we build it out of earth? I was like, no. My mother's Ghanaian, so she understands that if you build with earth, it won't last. And of course it's true when you're doing it with some of the local methods where you don't have a good roof and things like this. Of course it doesn't last, but I'm like, no, but Mom, there's other ways. And she said no. And so of course their hotel's built with concrete. But after I started building with earth, even my own mother came and saw what I was doing. She said, oh, that's quite nice. You can build something like that for me now. Yeah, thanks, Mom. So it's cool because I can see that it's really important to build like working examples of what we're doing, so that people can it's a very tactile culture here. Like, people need to understand it, and they need to be able to touch it and feel it, and then see that okay, this actually could work. Because of course, even in the architecture schools here, I've met with young architectural students, and they're saying, oh, if you're going to build with earth, it's so difficult, you have to be testing the earth all the time, and so much more expensive than if you just build with concrete. And I mean, they're getting these all kinds of crazy ideas that are not true, because of course doing conventional methods is so much easier, and they're lacking in the confidence to be able to do it in other ways. So I think that if we can continue to build more examples, and also right now we're kind of in the bush, but to be able to take this to different levels and more of an urban setting as well, so that people can realize in the city you can also do the same thing. You don't need to be having all this extra, spending all this extra money on air conditioning. You can be doing natural ventilation. There's so many simple methods that if people actually include that in the way that they're designing and building, they would have a much more comfortable living space. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I should